I'm Sue Elliott.
And I'm Ed Holen. There are some big changes coming for individuals with developmental disabilities who receive services from our state. The good news is that these changes will bring additional federal dollars into the state to enable us to serve people that are now on the no paid services caseload or a waiting list for all intents and purposes.
Yes, and about 4,000 of those people will be enrolled in the new Individual Family Services Program, which is almost double the current IFS caseload.
The reason that's happening is because the state legislature directed the state to convert the Individual and Family Services Program, which is now state funded, to a Medicaid waiver, which will basically double the money available to serve people.
As a waiver program, the new IFS will come with some federal regulations and guidelines, and that means changes for those who are using the current IFS program and what it looks like today. I recently spoke with Sheila Collins, the IFS program manager for DDA. Here's what she had to say about the proposed changes.
A couple things are going to be different. Right now, 75% of the people on the current state-funded Individual Family Services Program do not have Medicaid. Their parents typically are above the income levels for Medicaid, but waiver Medicaid looks at just the child's income. So what that means for 75% of the clients currently on the Individual Family Services Program is that they will be eligible to receive Medicaid.
And are there any other service changes? For example, I'd heard that there might be some changes in how families are able to obtain camps or some other services. Will there be changes in that way?
Yes, there will be a number of service changes. The legislature directed us to create a program as close to the state-funded services as possible, and so we've tried to do that, but some changes happen because of needing to follow the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare, CMS, their rules about waivers. So one of the most popular parts of the IFS program now is that reimbursement is one of the ways that we can pay back parents. CMS does not allow reimbursement, so that will be a big change for families. All services must be through contracted providers. So for things like summer camp, there's a couple things to mention. First, this transition will be phased in over a year. So it starts May 1st of 2015 and then will be phased in for current clients when they have their annual assessment. So if a client currently on IFS has their annual assessment in September, then they will continue on the regular state-funded IFS program until that point. So this summer they would be able to access reimbursement just like they have every other summer. But once they're on the IFS waiver, services will be through contracted providers. So for summer camp, what that means is they won't be able to access it through reimbursement or recreational opportunities, as is popular now, but they'll be able to access it as respite, so that the child can spend time at the summer camp so that the parents can get a break. So if the summer camp is contracted with DDA to provide respite in a community setting, then the client can access that camp for respite using their IFS funding.
Oh, great!
But the other thing I do want to say is that CMS rules talk about integrated settings, and our understanding, and until we hear differently, this is what we're going with, is that respite is excluded from the integrated settings requirement because it's an intermittent service. I mean, it's great if it is an integrated setting, but like a summer camp that just serves people with developmental disabilities, our understanding is that they could still use respite to access that.
So people eligible for the programs, do they have to be on the family support wait list, or can they just be on the no paid services wait list?
That's a good question. We're still in the process of contacting people on the no paid services caseload who have requested IFS and are currently on the IFS request list. For clients who are on the no paid services caseload and have not been enrolled in IFS for various reasons, it's hard to say for sure. If they contact DDA after the IFS waiver is implemented, my understanding is that they will be offered the IFS waiver with certain capacity limitations. So, this is going to be a huge effort for DDA staff to get to all of these clients and convert all of these people from a state-funded program to a waiver-funded program. So there may be some delay or some, they may have to plan a few months out to be able to enroll someone in the program, because it's about a 2-month process to get through all of the paperwork to become eligible for the waiver. So that time is factored in as well.
That's great news about the use of respite in the community.
A lot of families have used the IFS program to save for summer camp, and they're going to continue to be able to do so.
As long as the provider is a qualified provider and can contract with the state, right?
Right. That's one of the federal guidelines, that the waiver won't provide reimbursements to individuals anymore. All service providers have to be contracted with the state.
We'll have more information about the new IFS waiver as we approach the program implementation date, which is a little bit later in the spring of 2015.
And in the meantime, something that's very important for you to do if you're on the no paid services caseload and need IFS services, you have to call your local DDA office and be asked to be on the IFS service request list.
That's it for this video edition of Informing Families Building Trust. For more information and updates on this and other changes, visit our website at www.informingfamilies.org.